It is Monday, and as part of our weekly video series, guys, we like to do our live streams. This is where we go over BTC, Ethereum, we go over NPOC levels, we go over current ranges, we go over altcoins towards the end. First things first, guys, shout out to CoinCatch. They are the perpetual exchange of choice. Now, I do love CoinCatch a lot, guys. They have great liquidity. They have a lot of pairings, no KYC, no VPN, and then also Stryker.ai. This is a platform that I am working with. I am building out with them, kind of giving them my suggestions on what I think, some tools to utilize. So if you guys have any suggestions on what that platform can be doing differently, please reach out. We can kind of get it implemented. I'm working very closely with the team. So I do really enjoy Stryker.ai. A lot more to come with that as well. For me, the long on BTC is currently active. We dropped down to that 111.291. I did take a starter position on BTC, and I am looking to kind of build it within this area, guys. This is my area of interest to be dollar cost averaging into a position. You know, we've been kind of waiting for this. We finally got it. And so for me, guys, I am not expecting to be in profit right away. I'm not expecting this to go to all-time high. I'm not expecting it to be the Pico bottom and I make a ton of money right away. It's an area of interest I'm looking to dollar cost average into. So the longer it takes in this area, the longer it trades in this area, the lower it goes in this area, kind of maybe dropping down to this 109 area, guys. I am still going to be looking to buy the dips. I think buying the dip opportunity is a very good opportunity here. A lot of people are trying to long this type of breakout, right, on BTC. They wanted to, you know, get that next push. And this is exactly why I do not like being a breakout trader. Does that mean that you can't be successful with it? No, there's a lot of people that are very successful being breakout traders. But for me, guys, I like to be buying discounts. I like to be buying and having patience for those lower price levels, and we are finally getting those lower price levels. So that is why I did take a long on BTC currently. I haven't traded BTC in a while. I think last time we ended up trading BTC was down at this level, about that 113, 114. I think we got an average at about 112. And so again, you got to be taking profits because it's a round trip. If you were longing this area with me on BTC, which I was, you have now round tripped it, right? And so this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to still having a level headed when it comes to trading. You want to be getting into positions. You want to be scaling into them. You want to be scaling out of them. Do not think that you caught the bottom of the move, because likely the market will humble you and you will round trip it. And this price action is just a very good example of that happening, right? So I took profits on this trade kind of at the highs. I don't remember exactly. Had made some good profits on it. We took some altcoin trades as well, but it was a round trip and we are now back into that entry level. So if you didn't take profits, you didn't shave anything off, you are now probably about break even. But that is why now I took another entry, right? Based on these NPOC prints that we talked about, 111.291, 109.019 is the area of interest I am looking to be building a position. So I started to build a position, guys, and we're just going to continue to talk about what we see next, right? So basically, this is what the chart looks like as of right now with no setups on it. We can kind of make a new long, but I'm going to keep it the same just because it's the same area of long interest that we created on our last live stream about 5 days ago, which was on Wednesday. So that does stay the same. We do have a directional bias of up right now because the most recent NPOC prints are above current price action. So that is why I am looking for a retest of this 119.096. If we get it, I will be looking to take profits into that area because this is going to be a next short potential area. And so again, we can kind of create that setup. I don't think we have the short, or maybe we do. We created it 5 days ago as well. The long and the short on BTC stays the same. I use Bitcoin Top Indicator because it's a good anchor chart to be having. As you can see, it has been a very slow top that has been somewhat forming. But again, I have talked about BTC kind of trading more like equities. You know, governments are getting involved. I guess governments have always been involved, but like institutions are getting involved, banks are getting involved, JP Morgan, there's so much now, ETFs with all this sort of stuff. So I just think Bitcoin is going to kind of have like a gradual uptrend, kind of like the equities chart. And so, you know, this may completely change now because dynamics have changed, but this is just what I use on a daily basis to kind of have like that anchor high term time frame bias. This one has been very difficult to find a range bound environment just because we've seen up only on Ethereum since June. So it's harder to find those ranges. There was a decent dip buy within this that had confluence with an NPOC print right here about that 3,400. And so again, we still take the same principles and use them on Bitcoin as Ethereum, right? So this was a short level based off this NPOC print right here. Again, I did not take the short. I likely won't short Ethereum. I think Ethereum has the best risk reward for upside coming here in the, end of the year, start of next year. This bull market could last longer than people want it to last. It could be quicker than people want it to be. It really just depends. I don't try and plan everything perfectly. What I do is I have my setups, I have patience for them, and then I try and execute them. I try and extract some capital from the market, and then I'm on to the next, right? So the next area of interest that we created on ETH for a long, we haven't created that yet, so let's just kind of create that one. This one was created earlier this month, and it still stands. If we drop to 3,800, it does make sense because that was a resistance level at some point, and so that would be an area of interest that we look to long. If you're looking for a more low-term time frame trade, you could potentially look for a retest of this area on Ethereum, and that would be about that 4191 long entry. So this would be an area of interest that I'm looking to long Ethereum next. I haven't longed Ethereum in a little bit. I've been kind of holding off on both BTC and Ethereum. I thought altcoins were going to be a little bit better, but you guys got to understand, Ethereum's up 250%. It's very hard to justify longing into that. There's no above NPOC prints on Ethereum. 5K was not hit, which is also a reason why I think strength does continue on ETH. I will say I still like CRV, even though this is taking a little bit longer for us to get out of. We are still sitting at a discounted level. This is a discounted lower limit level that I still like to be longing. I liked CRV when it was up here at $1. So now that it's at a discount of 84 cents, I still like CRV. Now, does this mean we're going to bottom ticket and it's going to go all the way to $1.15? Likely not. You're going to need patience with some of this stuff, just like you're going to need patience with BTC and Ethereum. We'll just kind of see how things unfold on CRV. I don't know what my plan is on cutting CRV yet. It would probably be a big wash to the downside, which means I lose money. But at the end of the day, that's the risk that we're willing to take at buying it at a discount, right? And then maybe a retest. And then, that's where we get the 70 cent, the 65 cent area. CRV, I still like it. Again, on these trades, I just want you guys to understand, I am not insanely overexposed. If I am down 90% on the trade, it's not a big deal to me because I'm not going all in right here. Yes, it sucks to have a losing trade, but at the end of the day, I can get that average down very quickly and I can bring that average down to an area to where the percentage is less of a hit. Now, the dollar point will be the same as far as how much I'm losing, but that's why I like taking starter positions and then dollar cost averaging into them. Because if you have a $10,000 portfolio, guys, and you're going all in with 10K at one price point, you are at a very big disadvantage because you can't escape the trade. You can't let the trade breathe. But if you have a $10,000 trading, and let's just say you go in with 250 bucks, which is a small percentage of your overall position size, then you have a lot of dry powder to be averaging lower. Then you have a lot of dry powder to be escaping the trade, because I'm sure a lot of people have their stop loss right here. So no, it won't surprise me to run that. It won't surprise me to run some of those stop loss levels that people have. They're showing the market makers, right? That's what market makers love to do. They love to see where the best area is that they can make a lot of money, they can make a lot of liquidations, and that they can make their profits. So for me, not sure how I want to trade CRV yet. I might cut it and look for a re-entry, which is also okay. You're a trader. You move with the environment. If you take a 20% loss on CRV, you take a 30% loss on CRV, right? Of those initial entries that aren't very big in size, then it's not the end of the world, guys. And so that's what I'm looking for on that type of stuff. I kind of haven't been watching this one for a while, but now we're still in that lower limit discounted zone. I still think Fartcoin has opportunity, right? If you loved Fartcoin up here at the premiums at about, that $1.50, $1.60, $1.40, I think that you should also be loving it down here below $1 at that 87 cents. Now, does this mean that price has to go up? No, it doesn't. So we'll just kind of have to see as well. Very, very critical support level from prior price action back here in April. And you can kind of see that we are tapping into that support area. Again, this is a one-day high-term time frame chart, so take it for what it is. We had some wicks outside, but I still think dollar cost averaging into a play on Fartcoin at these price points is a decent opportunity for upside. PENGU is one of those ones that had a massive impulse move higher, right? We were trading PENGU down here. And again, I'll always talk about my mistakes with you guys. I'm very transparent. I cut my PENGU trade for a loss down at this area, or maybe it was small gains. I don't really remember. And then it had that massive move to the upside. And so again, I've always liked PENGU. I think that what they're doing is great. It's kind of like that NFT that is like really going mainstream. One of the only ones that has like actually caught traction outside of just a fucking piece of art. But I like what Luca Nats is doing, and that's more of like a team that you're putting effort into. And so again, range bound down here, range bound again. We are sitting at a discounted price range of this current range. And so this is an area I'm looking to be dollar cost averaging into. Now, I did take a PENGU position today, starter position. I'm not expecting it to go like this, but I am expecting to get some ads over time within this area. And so that's my game plan with PENGU going forward. Yeah, so SOL looks very strong, very range bound for a little bit. Had a deviation outside, deviation above, retested median ML. We'll go into the low term timeframes on this because it's a little bit cleaner. But SOL looks good. This was the range bound from April lows to May highs. Deviation out, deviation above. We came back, we retested this median ML and had a good bounce. Again, let's extend this range now just because it has been extended. This is gonna be the 4-hour range on SOL. You can kind of do something like this with the deviation outside. And so again, SOL is just sitting in that premium price range. Not really interested in buying SOL, although I do think that SOL long-term does really well. I have a lot of spots SOL, just like I have BTC and Ethereum. Those are the ones I don't really touch very often. I've had some really low bids on some of this stuff before, so it's just kind of like letting those maximize ROI. If you believe in crypto, in my opinion, you do need some spot holdings that you have high conviction in. Hype is one that I actually haven't looked at in a while, so I'm glad that you brought it up. I kind of always forget about Hyperliquid. Ooh, man, killer. Yeah, I have a spot bag of Hype, but it's not a lot. Up on it, I think mine is like mid-20s. Here, it's hard to justify anything as we are at range highs on Hype. And so again, you know, for me, I would be more interested in the discounted area on Hyperliquid if we get it. Not saying that we're going to get it and that you should be bearish here, but that's just where I would look to be adding again. I know this week didn't start as everybody wanted it to start, as we did see kind of a big wick liquidation to the downside on BTC, but again, guys, you know the game plans, you know what I'm looking, you know my trades, you know how I'm looking to trade, you know the setups that we're watching. I talk about them every single day over in the Telegram. So once again, I always appreciate you guys being there. I'll be doing another giveaway this week at some point. I'll probably post something and it'll be the same thing. All you need to do is repost it. I appreciate you being a part of the community and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.